Hello everyone! This hour on Verbling, the next in my great short stories series. We are halfway through short story 9, Slog's Dad by David Almond. So we're going to read the second half of the short story. What do I want to say? I want to say that, Slog's Dad, written by David Almond, who is a British writer, tells the story of a boy, Slog, who one fine spring morning, sees the figure of his father across the town square. This is a little bit strange because his father had already passed away. So this is going to be a rather unusual day for Slog. So we'll talk about the part of the story that you might have missed if you were not here in the last class. We'll summarize it for you, and then we're going to read the second half of the story and work on vocabulary and talk about what it means and the use of English that the author used to write the story. So, more about that in just a minute. First, a little bit about me. I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. By the way, here are 3 quick rules to help you participate. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up. That means when you're not speaking, turn off your microphone so we can keep the classroom quiet. When you are speaking, tune in to the new words. That means use the new words actively so that I can correct you and give you feedback. And finally, open up. Open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. And now I am going to say hello to some new faces, but let me share my screen with you first so you can see the story. There it is. And of course, you have the link to the material always down here in the class material. In case you don't have it open, I'll put it in the Verbling chat as well, so it's there. Okay? So when you see this graphic, you know you're in the right place. Let's say a quick hello to Helga, because I don't think I've seen you before. Hello, Helga.
Hi.
Hello, Helga. Where are you from?
I'm from Hungary.
From Hungary. Have I seen you before?
From Hungary, and now
or is this your first time?
No, this is my first class with you.
Okay.
Actually, this is my third class at all.
Okay, very good.
So
very good.
I'm a little nervous.
Nervous about what?
I don't know. I don't speak much nowadays.
Well, today you're going to be reading and discussing. So
Yes.
it's easier because you can read someone else's words. You don't have to worry about what to say. Although I do want to know your opinion about the story as we read. So we'll be talking about it a little bit. What else do I want to say? Let me say hello to Daniel's back. Hello, Daniel.
Hello. Good morning.
Okay. Good morning. And Johnny. Hello, Johnny. Are you there?
Hello, teacher. Hello, everyone.
Teacher.
Mr. John.
We have a problem.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Yeah, I think I have a problem.
We have a problem. Johnny, are you there, Johnny?
Yes.
This is the teacher. Do you see him?
Okay.
He's waving to you. I'm going to put him right here.
No, I don't see you.
There we go. That's the teacher. There he is.
See you.
Okay.
Because you're the teacher, Johnny. All I can do is help you learn. What happened to Helga? Helga, come back. I think Helga's having some connection problems. Johnny, were you in the first class? I can't remember. Were you here on Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay.
I was in the first class with Daniel.
Okay.
So, and then today I want to finish the second part.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. I just want to open something on my computers because I put some discussion questions at the bottom. We're going to read the second half of the story first, but also I need to open very quickly some material on my computer to share with you. So give me just 1 second to open that, and we will begin. Okay, I got it open. Okay, so, because I have a summary, so I just want to bring us up to date. Where's my summary? Well, I lost my summary, so never mind. Johnny, let's do this.
Yes.
Let's summarize the first part of the story. So you tell me what you remember. Daniel will add to that, and we'll make sure that we have everything we need to go on to the second part. So, in a nutshell, what do you remember from Tuesday?
So I remember that the first part of the story was the guy Slog met a guy who looks quite similar as his father, and then one of his friends asked, "Why did you think of your father?"
Mm-hmm.
Then he goes to he reminds everything about his mother and father, and her father's.
He reminds or he remembers?
Remember.
Yeah.
And his father was a trash collector. And,
right.
Trash collector.
Right.
Yeah. And he lost first of his leg, but he was still happy, and he sang the church song, and he loved to sing hymns. And then he lost his second leg, and at that time he became a little bit depressed. But her partner, like Slog's mother, still gave all she can to his father.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I remember.
Okay, that's pretty good. Daniel, let's talk a little bit about the characters. So Johnny mentioned who they were, but what kind of people are they? How old are they? How many characters? Where does it take place? What nationality are they? What do you think?
I think it humble people in general.
They're humble people. Why do you say that? Humble meaning like, because humble could be many things. Humble meaning like, well, Slog's father.
Poor people.
Poor people. Yeah.
I think they came from Wales.
I think it's we said Newcastle.
Newcastle. Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's some slang in word slang in the text.
Yeah. Slang, absolutely.
Slang.
But if they were from Wales, of course they would have a different way of speaking. They also have their own language. Welsh is a language. So I don't know if I've never been to the UK, so except for passing through it, so I don't really know it. So I don't really know if there's a connection between Wales and Newcastle, because I just don't know that much about it. But Newcastle definitely has a reputation, so kind of working class, maybe. Another way to say poor, working class.
I remember the Geordie.
Geordies, the Geordies. Right. So.
And some important sentence in the text, I think, when the father, before pass away, he said, "I'll come back in spring."
Yeah, very important.
Yes.
So he plants the seeds in the mind of his son, this idea of returning.
Yes.
Let me just see if Helga's connection is better. Helga, are you there?
Yeah, Yes,
Okay.
yes, I fixed it.
Okay, very good. Okay, but you missed the summary. So let me just give you a quick summary because we're going to read the second half of the story. So Johnny gave us a little summary about the plot, and Daniel gave us a summary about the characters. So basically, this is the story of a boy, Slog. His name is Slog. He's from a working class area, working class or poor area. And his father is a trash collector. So his father rides on the back of the trucks picking up trash. However, his father smokes a lot. His father probably doesn't have, they're not the healthiest people in the world. His father loses a leg, but he's still very happy. So what happens is, in the beginning of the story, we can actually look at the very beginning. One second, let me just move forward a little bit. There we go. Starting on page, what page is that? 5. So starting on page 5, the very first thing we find in the story, which we read on Tuesday, was this part. Spring had come. I'd been running around all day with Slog. This is the narrator of the story. We were starving. We were starving. Oh, that's interesting. We were crossing the square to Meyer's pork shop. Slog stopped dead in his tracks. And then we've got this description, which is kind of important. What's up? I said. He nodded across the square. Look, he said. Look at what? It's me dad, he whispered. Your dad? Aye. Well, the problem is, as Daniel pointed out, that his father, we find out later, had died. His father was already dead. But before he died, he told the narrator of the story, who we find out his name is Davy, he told the narrator that he was going to come back in the spring. And he said that I'll just follow the smells of the city from heaven. I'll get back my legs. His legs were cut off because he had cancer, I guess. I'll get back my legs and I'll come back. So in the beginning of the story, the first thing we find is that his son, Slog, sees his father. And the narrator, Davy, is a little bit worried because he knows that his father is dead. So something is not right here. And the question is something wrong with Slog? Or is it really his father? Okay, so basically we have that beginning, and then we find out the history of what happened about his father getting sick, and that was basically the first part of the story, more or less, in a general sense. Okay, and this takes place in Newcastle in the UK. There's lots of slang. You can hear the way they speak in that area. So that's a little bit about the background. We're going to start reading in part 2, and at the end, we're going to discuss the story. So let's go down to page 10. By the way, Helga, if you have questions at any time, just ask, okay? Hello, Helga, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
No. Helga's having connection problems. Okay, so let's get started. Odie, I don't know if you heard the summary. I'm not going to do it again, but I don't know if you heard the summary.
No, I don't hear the summaries.
Uh-oh.
That's okay.
Uh-oh. Well, let's see what you can figure out about the backstory in a moment. Yes. I will tell you one thing. It's about a young boy who sees his father in the park, even though his father had died months ago. That's all you need to know for now. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Ask questions along the way, maybe if there's any questions. Okay, Daniel, can you get us started?
Okay. Just a week later, the garden was empty. We saw Dr. Molly going in. Then Fathers O'Mahony, and just as dusk was coming on, Mr. Blenkinsop, the undertaker. The week after the funeral, I was heading out of the state for school with Slog, and he told me, Dad said he's coming back. Slogger, man, I said. His last words to me. "What's for me in the spring," he said. "Slower, man, it's just 'cause he was—" "What?" I grit my teeth.
I gritted.
I grit, I gritted. I gritted my teeth. "Dying man." I didn't mean to yell at him, but the traffic was thundering past us on the bypass. I got hold of his arm and we stopped. "Bloody dying," I said more softly. "Me man says that and all," said Slog. "She says we have to wait, but I cannot wait till I'm in heaven, Davy. I want to see him here one more time." Then he stared up at the sky. "Dad," he whispered, "Dad." Oh,
Uh-oh.
what a sad.
And so, because Adi wasn't here, who's the one narrating the story, Daniel?
Who?
Who is narrating the story?
The friend, Davy.
Davy. Okay.
Friend, slow friend.
Right. So Odie, we're seeing the story through the eyes of Davy, who is Slog's or Slog's. I don't know if I think it's Slog. I'm not sure. Who's Slog's friend. And this is just after the father died. So he's made this promise. So based on this, Daniel, what do you think about the man in the park? Is it really his father? Or
I
what do
don't
you
know.
think's going on?
Is it a fantastic story?
I don't know.
It's a sci-fi story?
Does
It's
it
a
seem that
true
way?
story? I don't know.
What does it seem like to you?
So far, a novel. Maybe it could be true. It's a true story, no?
True story, you mean it really happened?
So far, yes.
Why do you say
But
that? Oh, you mean it's realistic?
realistic. Sorry.
Okay, got it. It's realistic.
Realistic. Yeah.
I wonder if it really happened, because the narrator is Davy, and the writer of the story is named Dave. Kind of makes me think that this is a childhood memoir of some kind. That he's writing about an experience about a friend of his when he was a kid. I don't know. I don't know anything about him, but that's another clue maybe. But you're right, it's realistic, and it's about the language. So if it was science fiction, maybe we wouldn't focus so much on the dialogue. It's all dialogue, like a movie script. So we have to feel something about how these characters think and live their lives through their language they use. Like, bloody dying! Bloody. Instead of bloody. Me mom. Oi, me mom tells me. I don't know how to do the Newcastle accent, so I can't fake it. But anyway, but you can see that. So who they are and where they are is coming through their language, and that seems to be the character of the story. Maybe the main character. You've got Slog, you've got Davy, you've got the old man, then you've got this guy in the park who may or may not be the old man. We don't know. But the most important thing to me is this character of the place, which you get through all the details and through the language. I don't know. For me, that's something that stands out. Anyway. So, Johnny, take it away. Keep going.
I got into Myers, chops and sausage and bacon and black puddings and joints and pies set in neat piles in the window. A pink pig's head with his hair scorched off, and a grin on its face gazed out at the square. There was a bucket of bones of dogs and a bucket of blood on the floor. The marble counters and Billy Myers' face were gleaming. Aye, David, he said. I muttered.
Aye.
Save Lloyd, I suppose, with everything. Aye. I looked out over the pig's head. Slog was with the bloke, looking down at him, talking to him. I saw him lean down to touch the bloke.
What's a bloke,
And
by the way? What's a bloke?
fellow,
Fellow, right. Man, fellow,
Okay.
bloke.
and Dick said Billy. I said. He plunged, he plunged the sandwich into
Plunged.
plunged. He plunged a sandwich into a trough of gravy.
Good. You know what a trough is?
Um, no idea.
I'm going to put a link there. You guys can do the same if you like. I'm going to use whatever dictionary definition comes up, but you can see all right now on the screen the Merriam-Webster definition, and I'm going to insert that link in just a second. Trough. Bakers often, what is it? Sorry, a long, shallow container from which animals, cows, pigs, eat. So it's a trough of gravy. But it's interesting because they just left the butchers. They were selling a pork shop, so butchers for pigs. So it's kind of interesting that he describes the gravy for the sandwich as a trough, a little container, because it's almost like they're the pigs, right? They left the butcher shop, but the human beings are eating out of a trough, not a real trough, it's a metaphor, but he's describing the container with the gravy he got from the shop like a trough, something a pig would eat out of. I think it is interesting. So I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it has something to do with their social status, the fact that they're working class. But it's also, we can also describe it as a trough. It's okay. It's nothing unusual about that. But it's a little hint about something about them. And he plunges the sandwich into a trough of gravy. Gravy, in American English, is just sauce. Sauce. Right? Okay,
I got a question. Is it the word trough still being used nowadays?
Absolutely. If you have a pig,
okay.
you feed the pig out of a trough.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so they left the pork shop, the butchers, and where are they now, Johnny? After they leave the butchers, where are they?
A club.
Say again?
A club, like selling liquid.
Selling what?
Liquid.
Selling liquid? I'm confused.
Selling booth. I don't know how to say that word. They are drinking beer. That the place.
A bar?
A bar, maybe. Bar, yeah.
Well, why do you think there's a bar? First of all, are they old enough to go to a bar? How old are they? They're a bunch of kids, right?
They didn't mention their age in the story.
Oh, but I have the impression they're young. I have an impression they're quite young. Or else, why would Slog think his dad is coming back? If he was old, right, he wouldn't believe it. So he's young enough. I would imagine he's like, I don't know, maybe 12. What do you think, class? Do you agree with me? They don't mention the age, but I have the feeling that they're kind of young.
The
Yeah,
boys.
maybe.
What was that, Daniel?
The boys or the father?
The boys, Davy and Slog.
16.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. I feel.
I got the impression they were even younger than that, because
Yeah,
if they
but
were.
looking at the pictures, they were young.
Oh well, the picture is from a graphic novel, so I think this was originally a graphic novel, but so I don't know. Don't look at the pictures. Look at the text. I get the feeling that they're younger, Daniel, because if they were 16 and they're in a working class neighborhood, they're going to be smoking, drinking, getting into trouble, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I did that, and I wasn't even in a working class neighborhood. So all kids do that. So they're not doing those negative adult things yet. So I think they're too young. I think they're even younger. And are they in a bar? No, they're not in a bar because there's nothing to give us that idea that they're in a bar that I see.
Butcher shop.
At a
Butcher shop.
Yeah, it's a butcher shop, and right now they're outside in the park because they're talking to the bloke. They're talking to the bloke. Who's the bloke? Just to be clear,
Father in this case.
the guy that Slog thinks is his father. So now he's referred to as the bloke. In American English, that word does not exist. In British English, it's the same as like the dude. Hey, dude.
Mate is British or American?
American is sort of like dude. British is mate.
Ah.
Hello, mate. We say, hey, dude. And bloke is kind of a general word. It's the same, more or less the same. I mean, I say they're the same, but the cultures are different, so nothing's really ever the same. They really have their own meaning. Dude is not the same as bloke. But anyway, you get the idea. It's a slang word for that guy, right? Guy, bloke. Okay, so Odie, are you following the story, more or less?
Yes, I am following the story, yes.
All right, so you're up, Odie. Take this next part. We're on 11.
Okay. Bleedy lovely, he said. Thought I said it myself.
Though
I said it myself. Calling to you, sir. I paid him, but I couldn't go out through the door. The sandwich was hot. The gravy was dripping to my feet. Billy laughed. Penny for them, he said. I watched Clark get on to the bench beside the bloke. Do you believe there's life after that? I said. Billy laughed. Now there's a question for a butcher, he said. A skinny old woman came in the past me.
In the past? No, there's no the. She came in.
Past me.
Yeah.
In past. Right.
She came in past me, so that means she walked next to him and continued on. She passed me by. A skinny woman came in past me.
Okay.
So she entered the butcher shop, and Slog has gone outside and sat on the bench next to the bloke. This guy that he thinks is his father. Keep going, Odie.
What can I do for you, Pat? Said Billy. See you, Davy? He laughed. Kids?
Kids. Oh, kids. Crazy kids asking me about the afterlife. Kids.
Slug, look that happy. Oh, I cannot see that. Slug looked that happy as I walked towards them. He was leaning on the bloke, and the bloke was leaning back on the bench, grinning at the sky. Slug made a fist and face of joy when he saw me. Oh,
Keep
sorry,
going.
can you?
Yeah, keep going.
It's Dad, Davy said. See, I told you. I stood in front of them. You remember Davy? Dad, said Slug. The bloke looked at me. He looked nothing like the Joey McClay I used to know. His face was
Filthy.
filthy,
Right.
filthy. But it was smooth and his eyes were shining bright. Of course I do. It's nice to see you, son. Slug laughed.
So, this bloke, you remember Davy, Dad? Is this surprising? This guy, does he look like Slog's father? Odie? Does he look like Slog's father? Joe Mickley, does he look like him?
I have no idea.
According to what you read, does he look like him? No, right? Davy, the narrator, says he looked nothing like the Joe Mickey I used to know. So it doesn't look like him.
Okay.
So Joe Mickley is Slog Mickley's father.
Yeah.
And Billy is the butcher. So there's a lot of names, but there's really only 4 characters. It's just Slog, Davy, the bloke, and we hear about the father earlier. So it's really those 3 characters, Slog, Davy, and the bloke. Maybe a few others, but they're not really in the story. So he doesn't look like his father. But what's the surprising thing that happens when Slog says, "Hey, you remember Davy?" What does the bloke say?
Of course I do.
Of course I do.
Oh, of course I do.
So, what do you think that means? Does that mean that he's his father, Daniel? No?
No.
Maybe he's just some dirty old man in the park. Okay, so I'll do this little little part here, and then we'll go back to the beginning with Daniel. Davy's a bit scared, he said. This is the old man talking. Davy's a bit scared, he said. Oh no, that was Slog. Davy's a bit scared, he said. No wonder, said the bloke. That looks very tasty. Ah. Now I understand why he's playing along. Ah, that looks very tasty. They just walked out of the pork shop. I held the sandwich out to him. He took it. He opened it and smelt it and looked at the meat and peas pudding and stuffing and mustard and gravy. He closed his eyes and smiled and then lifted it to his mouth. This should be Savlov. Savlov. I don't know what this is. I have no idea what that word is. You know? Because I don't. Is that it? What? Tasty?
Yeah, bring or the flavor.
Did you look it up?
No. I no.
Okay. I guess Savly. I don't know what that's supposed to be. I don't know if he's trying to say savory, like it tastes good, it's salty, it's savory. Anyway, I don't speak Geordie, so I don't really know. Okay, Daniel, take it away.
Savory with everything, he said. He licked the gravy from his lips, wiped his chin with wiped his chin with his hand. Lady lovely, you got on to drink.
You got
on to drink?
Ought.
Ought. Ah, okay.
Like ought is like nothing. Like, don't you have anything to drink? You got ought to drink?
You got ought to drink? No, I said. Ha, he has got a tongue. He looks a bit different, said Slog. But that's just 'cause he's been transfigured, said the bloke. I, said Slog, transfigured. Can I sew in your legs, Dad? The bloke laughed gently. He bit his savory sandwich. His eyes glittered as he watched me. Hey, he said.
I,
he said.
I, that's like yes. Yes, you can.
Ah.
I.
He said. Ganon, sew him me legs, son. And
He sounds like a pirate. Shiver me timbers. Arr. Show me legs. They sound a little bit like pirates here. So when he says I, it means yes. I, yes. Yes, sure, you can see my legs.
Mm-hmm. And Slog knelt at his feet and rolled the bloke's tattered trouser buttons up and sewed the bloke's dirty socks and dirty shins.
Okay, Johnny?
Yeah. Um, See, he whispered. He touched the bloke's leg with his fingers. Aren't they lovely? He said. Touch them, David. I didn't move. Get on, said the bloke. Touch them, David. His voice got colder. Do it for Slogger, David, he said. I crunched. I touched. I felt the hair, and the skin, and the bones and muscles underneath. I reconned. I stood up.
Recoiled.
I recoiled. I stood up again. It's true, see, said Slog. He got them back in heaven. What do you think of that then, Davy? Said the bloke.
Now the bloke is the bloke is a natural. He's a natural thespian here. What do you think of that, Davy? Why do you think the bloke says that? What do you think of that, Davy?
He's just curious about what Davy was thinking.
I don't think he's curious. I think he's playing a game.
He
What do you
tried
think?
to David pretending.
Say again? I couldn't hear you.
I think the blog tried to convince David to pretend.
Convince him to pretend, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too, yeah. That's the feeling I got. He's like daring him. What do you think of that, Davy? Go ahead. I dare you to disappoint your friend who's just lost his father. Go ahead, upset him more. So what does the bloke want? What does he seem to want here? Besides to convince his friend, why is he playing the game, Daniel?
Because it's a way to get some food.
Food. Because
Get a sandwich.
exactly. Because he's dirty, so he probably lives in the park or whatever. He's got no money, so free food. So, I don't know. That raises an interesting question. Who's right and who's wrong? I mean, should he be if he's playing a game, should he do that? Is that fair to Slog to pretend to be his father? Slog needs his father back, but this guy's doing it for a sandwich. Is that right? Should he be allowed to do that? Or what do you think? Or
No, I think if I have if my best friend
Mhm.
believe that his father come back from the heaven, I'll try to open his eyes.
Right. But on the other hand, Slog is desperate. So
Yeah.
is there any harm? I mean, maybe the man in a way is helping him because he's obviously can't handle reality. He's too young. He's the same age
I
as
think-
Davy, but he can't handle it.
I think the bloke is giving some hope to
Right.
Slog.
The bloke is giving hope. He's a hopeful bloke. By the way, that rhymes. Hope
How
and bloke.
could be dangerous?
Hope can be dangerous. Well, let's see what happens. We're back to you, Odie. So, whoops, I moved the text by mistake. Okay, take it away, Odie. Actually, you can probably, let me just see how many pages we have so I don't run out of time. Okay, we're doing good. You see what good English I have? We're doing good. Isn't that good English? Why don't people correct me when I make mistakes? We're doing well. We're not doing good. We're doing well. Okay. You should be able to correct me. You should say, you're the teacher. That's why I say I'm not the teacher.
The
My
cat
cat's
is the teacher.
The cat's the teacher. The lucky cat.
Just a
You-
question.
you are
Is
Mr.
that-
Young.
Is that we are doing good? Is it incorrect?
Of course. We're not doing good. We're not saving orphans. We're not
So normally,
giving money to
normally
charity. We're not doing good. Good is a moral issue, good and bad. Well is like when you say, how did you do it? I did it well. That means I did it completely. I did a good job.
But
Did you
I heard that some people in New Zealand they said we are doing good.
I know, but it's wrong. I mean, everyone says it, but it's still wrong. Because
Okay.
good in that case would be morally good and bad. So it's not grammatically correct, but yes, everyone says it. So I give you permission, Johnny. You can say it too if you want. You have my permission, okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
But only on the weekends. All right. Who's next? Odie, take it away.
Okay. Slug smile. He thinks they are bidding lovely dead. Slug stroked the bloke's one more time, then rolled the trouser down again. What happens like that? Said Slug. Hard to describe, son. Oh my god.
What's wrong?
Least that. It's like bright and peaceful, and there's God and the angels and all that. The bloke looked at his sandwich. It's like having all the cephaloid dips you ever want with everything, every time. It must be great. Oh, I, son, it's
I,
dead.
son. It's dead canny. Oh, I. He's like being really emphatic. Oh, I. Like really? Yes, it is.
Oh, son, it's that canny. Are you coming to Dad? He said. The bloke froze his lips and sucked in the air and gazed into the sky. Do you know if I've got the time, son? Slug, Slug's face fell. The bloke reached out and stroked Slug's cheek. This is very special, he said. Very rare. They left it happen 'cause you're a very rare and special lad.
They let what happen? Who let what happen? Just to be clear. Who let what happen, Odie?
Who?
Who,
Sorry?
in the last line, he said, um, this is very rare,
Yes,
right?
it's
They let it
very
happen because you're a rare and special lad.
lad.
What's he trying to say? Who let what happen? Is it clear? Who let what happen?
Yeah, I mean, let it what happened want to see mom or not like this, no?
Almost. Let me ask the rest of the class. So, what's he
Okay.
referring to here? Daniel, Johnny, who let what happen? According to the game that the bloke is playing. What's he trying to say? Clear? Not clear.
No.
No?
The blow wants Slog to make bad things happen.
Make what happen?
Um, to just like to ask the blow as a father, maybe as a father.
Uh-oh. We gotta clarify this. Hold on.
To be
Look.
Slog's father.
No, it's not that. No, he has a specific request. Look. This line right here.
God and the angels.
Right.
Uh,
He's
Okay.
saying that God and the angels let him
Let it-
come back.
Mhm.
Is he going to see Slog's mother? And he's trying to get out of it. He's trying to make an excuse. Because the bloke knows it's just a game. And the mother is not going to find it amusing.
In this case, the adjective rare,
Rare.
it's something special in this case.
Yeah. Rare, unusual.
Or freak.
Freak occurrence. Something that never happens. A freak occurrence. A rare occurrence. Yeah, that's it. So look. Are you coming to see Mom? He says ma'am. Are you coming to see Ma'am, Dad? The bloke pursed his lips. Don't know. That means I don't know. Don't know if I got the time, son. Slog's face fell. What happened to his face? His face fell off and it's on the ground? What happened to his face?
Sad.
He gets
Sad.
sad.
Turn gray.
Yeah. So his face fell. That means the emotions. He was smiling and his smile dropped and he has this blank face. In other words, he expected the guy to come home with him. And then he makes up this excuse. They let it happen. They meaning heaven, God. They let it happen cause you're a very rare and special lad. That means I've only got a few minutes because this is a special thing just for you. So he's just a natural actor, this guy. He's great. Let's find out what happened. So that's his excuse. Johnny?
Yes.
He.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. Back to Daniel. I skipped you, didn't I?
Okay.
Who's next? Odie read last, so then it's back to Daniel, then Johnny.
Yes.
So I think I'm...
Maybe
go ahead.
Daniel first. Daniel first.
Go, Daniel.
Okay. He looked into the sky and talked into the sky. How much longer have I got? He said. Then he nodded. I.
He's
I-
talking to God right now, the bloke.
Okay.
You know, he's on a long-distance call that only he can hear.
He wrote and looked back at
He
Slog.
shrugged.
He shrugged and looked back at Slog. No, he said. Time's pressing. I cannot do it, son. There were tears in Slog's eyes. She missed you that much, Dad, he said. I know. The bloke looked into the sky again. How much longer? He said. He took Slog in his arms. Come here, he whispered. I watched them hold each other tight. You can tell her about me, said the bloke. You can tell her I loved and miss her and all. He looked at me over Slog's shoulder. And shook hand, Davy, your best mate. Can you, Davy?
Can't you,
Can
David?
you, Davy? Can't you? I muttered. Then the bloke stood up. Slog still clung to him. Can I come with you, Dad? He said. The bloke smiled. You know you can't, son. What did you do? I said. Eh? Said the bloke. What job did you do? The bloke looked at me, dead cold. I was a windman, Davy, he said. I used to stink, but I didn't mind, and I followed the stink. He cupped the Slog's face in his hand.
So, let's pause there for just a second. Did you expect him to say that answer? How did he know that? Did you expect him to answer Davy's question?
Yes, because he's a very good actor.
Ah, okay. So he's daring Davy, right? You can tell the mother that I love her. Your best mate can do it too, right, Davy? Can't you? It's like a little dare. And Davy, who knows better, says, "What did you do?" Innocent question. Huh? What job did you do? He looked at me dead cold. So there's a moment of tension where we have to think, well, what's he going to say? But he knows the answer. How did he know that? How did he know? Very interesting, right? Makes you wonder.
Maybe his son told him.
Maybe Slog already told him. Maybe. Or maybe
It's
it's
a coincidence.
jokingly. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe he was also a bin man. Maybe. By coincidence. Could be.
Yeah, the ring bell.
Okay, we've almost finished, so let me just go to Johnny for... You take it to the end of the page, and then Odie will finish the story. Okay?
Okay. So I was a big man, David, he said. I used to stink, but I didn't mind. and I followed the sting to get me here. He cupped Slog's face in his hands. Isn't that right, son? Aye, says Slog. So was Slog's mother called, I said. Aye? Your wife, what's her name? The bloke looked at me. He looked at Slog. He pushed the last bit of sandwich into his mouth and chewed. A sparrow hopped close to our feet, trying to get at the crumbs. The bloke licked his lips, wiped his chin, stared into the sky. Please, Dad, whispered Slog. The bloke shrugged. He gritted his teeth and sighed, and looked at me so cold, and at Slog so gentle. Slog's mother, he said. My wife, he shrugged again. She's called Mary. Oh, Dad, said Slog, and his face was transfigured by joy. Oh, Dad. The bloke laughed. Ah, believe ah. He held Slog by the shoulders.
Stop there for a second. What do you think, Johnny? How did he know? How did he know?
Maybe he's a friend of Slog's father.
What do you think, Daniel?
By chance, more than 80% of women
They're all called Mary.
marry. Yeah.
They're all called Mary. Of course she's called Mary. Did you know, I live in Portugal. Did you know that every woman has the name, almost everyone has the name Mary. Even men sometimes have the name Mary.
Jose.
Yeah, you could say Jose Maria, right? The guy's name. Everyone is named Mary. Everyone. So, of course she's named Mary. This is kind of an interesting story because it has something to do with, I think it's got something to do with religion. We can definitely look at Slog's, his need to believe. Of course she's called Mary. So why does Slog think that that's proof? So it's something that we can definitely talk about. Okay, Odie, take us to the end of the story. We've got a few minutes
Now,
left.
son. Okay. Now, son, he said, you got to stand here and watch me go, and you mustn't follow. I won't, Dad, whispered Slug. And you must always remember me. I will, Dad. And me, you and your lovely mom will be together again one day in heaven. I know that, Dad. I love you, Dad. And I love you. And the bloke kissed Slug and twisted his face at me, then turned away. He started singing Fate of Our Fathers.
Wow.
He walked across the square, past Mayor's pork shops, and turned down on the high street. We ran after him then, and we looked down the high street past the people and the cars, but there was no sign of him. And there he again. We stood there speechless. Billy Myers came to the doorway of the pork shop with a bucket of bones in his hand and watched us. That's what me dad, said Slug. I, said Billy. He come back, like he said he would, in the spring. That's good, said Billy. Come and have a dip, son. Everything.
So what is Billy's attitude? Billy's the owner of the shop.
Mhm.
A dip. Remember that they had the sandwich that they dipped in gravy. Remember that?
Yes,
Yeah.
And who ate his sandwich? Remember?
the bloke.
The bloke ate the sandwich.
The stomach block.
Right. So Odie, what do you think? Why does Billy say that line, and why does the story end there? Billy, the butcher, says, "Oh, that's good, son. Come and have a dip, son, with everything." So, what do you think Billy's really saying? Or why do you think he says it? Any idea?
I think it's just I forgot everything and he,
He's telling Slog to forget about it?
yes.
Really? Maybe.
I have a question.
Yes.
Uh, I don't know why the block knew uh, his true father sin fight of our fathers.
Yeah, I have that same question. How did he know that? How did he know?
Maybe they were together.
Maybe.
And then they sang together the song Faith of Our Fathers.
Maybe he was a bin man, and that's what bin men sing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe Slog said it, and because remember, Billy was inside the butcher shop. We don't know what they talked about. So maybe all of this was already clear. I don't know. Let's go back to that line. "That's good, Billy. That's good," said Billy. "Come and have a dip with everything." Do you think Billy believes Slog?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Do you think is he going to make Billy pay for the sandwich? Is it Billy going to make Slog pay for the sandwich? What would you guess?
Yes.
Yes? I would guess no. I would guess no here. Because he says, "Come and have a dip, son, with everything." It sounds like he's offering him food because he lost his sandwich to the bloke. So, without saying it directly to us, we've got a moment where everyone understands what's going on, except Slog. Slog's too young, I guess. But everyone seems to understand, and you can see it in their behavior. Billy knows that it's not really his father, right? Or at least he thinks that, okay, a bunch of kids, what do they know? But he knows that if Slog is talking, "Hey, that's me dad, he came back," he feels sorry for the boy who just gave away a sandwich. So all he can do is offer him another sandwich. That's all he's got to offer. I think that's my theory. I think that's why it ends there. Billy gives him he can't console him, right? Earlier, Slog was asking him about heaven and reincarnation and whatever, and Billy's like, "Oh yeah, whatever." So that's all he can really do. That's what that's my theory. What do you think? You think I'm off? Think I got it?
I think it's a old friend, or maybe the block knew about the story about father's Slog. Maybe he recognized the Slog.
Yeah, maybe. And maybe Billy, the butcher, recognizes the bloke and knows that it's not his father. And that's partly why he feels sorry. I think the story ends there because he feels sorry for Slog. And it's like, it's kind of us. Billy represents us. It's how we feel. We know more than the Slog. And we're privileged because we feel sorry for Slog. We know what he's going through. Sorry to cut you off. Listen, we have to actually stop. I have to start the next class. But I've given you 2 pages or 3 pages of things to think about on the next page on 16. So you could take a look through some of those and think about them for the next time. We'll start a new story, but we're going to go through these discussion questions next Tuesday anyway. Okay? So think about those. Answer them if you can. We'll talk about them in the next class next Tuesday at 9 GMT. I'm going to start the business class right now. Stick around to learn about facts, figures, fractions, and business language for numbers. Okay? I'll be right back in 30 seconds. Bye for now, everyone. See you in a minute. Come back next Tuesday.
Thank you, John.
Bye-bye.